Game night Monday will feature the bearded one and ridiculous rookie Luka Doncic. Game starts at 8. Coverage begins at 7:30 with the Auto Trader pregame show. We've had some good games already. Portland, red hot. Winners in 7 of their last 9, facing the Dallas Mavericks, who are exceptional at home so far this season. Luka Doncic.
Oh, somebody got.
Exceptional all the time. Nurkic a bit slow to get there. Doncic finish. How about Dirk Nowitzki? All-time great at this point in his career, knocking it down.
Very best to ever do.
But the Blazers, they're deep. Jake Layman and Rodney Hood. Recent addition, new face, new place, splashing and cashing.
It's a good pickup for the Blazers. They needed another guy that in certain situations, if McCollum and Lillard aren't rolling, Rodney Hood can get you some buckets and keep the scoreboard moving.
Speaking of keeping the scoreboard moving, that caps a 20-1 Blazers run. Portland ahead by 3 here, but cutting back door, another new face in a new place. Tim Hardaway Jr. coming over from the Knicks, finished with 24 points. Third quarter.
What time is it?
Dame time? Oh, yeah, he goes off, GA.
You know, he's might be the best player in the league that nobody talks about. I mean, that guy is just amazing.
Well, he gets his credit on this show. 21 points in the third quarter for Damian Lillard. Problem is that wasn't the fourth quarter. Throw it up. Luka Doncic, step back.
I'll tell you what, Dallas about to get a whole lot more interested moving forward.
Yes, they are.
That young man.
13 points in the fourth quarter for Luka Doncic. But it is the fourth quarter in Portland. They have guys that can get you a bucket when you need it. 1-point game. CJ McCollum. Doncic with a chance to ice it. No bueno. Damian Lillard. Again, in the clutch, he's someone you can trust, but not here. Good defense, good non-call.
I thought it was a good knock. I thought he went vertical on that play. Tough challenge there by Lillard, just could not get it to go.
Yeah, no, good job getting downhill and not settling. But I thought there was good verticality as well.
And the Dallas Mavericks closed the game on a 24-9 run. They outscored Portland 24-9 in the fourth quarter. Here is Luka Doncic.
What was going on in your mind during those final possessions?
I mean, I think we were kind of lucky, you know. Maxey had some big plays on defense. I should have made those 2 shots for sure. I'm pissed about it, but I'm glad we got a win.
Tim Hardaway Jr. came over in the trade. I'd like to hear your thoughts on his contributions, not only since he's been here, but especially today. He lit it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy, great shooter. You know, he can do a lot of things, so he helped us a lot, not just on attack, helped us on defense too, so I'm glad we have him.
Are you feeling more of a need? I mean, you've been rebounding all year long, but is it more intense now that you guys lost DeAndre, who was a big defensive rebounder? Are you taking more of that burden?
Yeah, probably, because we don't have Maxey's, especially. I mean, he's a 4. You know, we have not a big lineup, you know, but we box out and we get the rebound, everybody.
Jay, I have to give you credit because the very first week of the season, you've been singing the praises of one Luka Doncic. And he recently joined a very elite group, teenagers with 1,000 career points.
Wow.
There's only 7 now. Kobe, LeBron, KD, Devin Booker, Dwight Howard. Luka Doncic now on that list. How impressed are you from how his career has started in the NBA?
I mean, very. Listen, I was high on him, as you mentioned, coming in. But I think the thing that stood out most to me is before they made the trade, they had a bunch of veteran guys who had had a lot of success, and they all deferred to him. And that's when you know you're special. When you watch him, and I talked with his coach about this, and Rick Carlisle, and he acknowledged, because they were seeing it every day in practice, in pickup. The kid just has an innate feel for how to play the game. He's got the flair for the dramatic as well, but the consistency with which he plays, you love guys that embrace the moment. And he's one of those kind of players. And boy, I tell you, Dallas, they gave up a first-rounder for him in next year's draft, but they've got, in essence, a superstar caliber player that very few in our league can say that they have. And so moving forward, Dallas is going to be in great shape.
And it gives you confidence when you walk into the locker room, you're like, all right, we got our guy that we know we can follow. And as a 19-year-old to have that in Luka Doncic, that seems really special.
Yeah, no, it's important to have it. And for a 19-year-old to have it is amazing. But playing with guys like that myself, it gave me confidence to be on the court with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. And even later in my career, when you look up and you see Pau Gasol on your team, who we talked about earlier, that helps you. And so at 19, for him to have given Wesley Matthews and DeAndre Jordan confidence, I mean, they played with some great players in their careers, and to see them, like you said, giving the crown willingly to this new guy, he's earned it. Yeah. And he is playing good basketball. You start to pair him with Porzingis moving forward. Good, solid coaching in Rick Carlisle. You got to watch out for the Mavs the next couple of years.
I mean, you draft that piece and then you build from there. We saw it with Kobe Bryant, your teams, and we know that the Golden State Warriors have drafted well and they've built around that too. And there they are coming out. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, 3 of those players that they drafted and have built championships around. They'll face the Miami Heat at 8:30. Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. Chris Miles here with Derek Fisher and Greg Anthony. The Miami Heat opened up a 19-point lead, and really Steph Curry helping lead the charge in the comeback for the Golden State Warriors. He right now is 2 for 6 from 3-point range. I'm sorry, Curry is actually the only guy connected from outside, 3 for 6 from outside, while the rest of the team just 2 for 13. Fish, why is it that he's able to find a stroke, the rest of the team not right now?
Well, I thought, we talked about prior to the game, bringing their brain is the key to their success. And I thought early in this game, they mentally weren't quite tuned in. I mean, the Heat do deserve a little bit of credit for their defense, but the Warriors weren't ready to go at the start of this game. And as this game has gone on, as you see here, Stephen Curry creating opportunities for himself off the dribble, figuring out this Miami Heat defense, the way that they're playing, who's switching, who isn't. And he started to find his groove.
Josh Richardson on the other end, 5 3-pointers. That's the same amount as the entire Golden State Warriors team. Who would expect that going into this one, that at half, Josh Richardson would have 5 threes, Golden State Warriors would have 5?
Well, listen, he arguably been their best player all season. I mean, Josh Richardson's had a terrific season for the Heat, and he came out lights out in that first half, shooting it from beyond. But also, I thought they did a really good job of attacking the paint as well. And Josh Richardson, every year, he's just gotten a little bit better, more comfortable with the responsibility now of being asked to score consistently for this Heat team. And every defensive mistake that Golden State made, it seemed like in that first half, the Heat made them pay. And even though they struggled a little bit with their own turnovers, they did defend that 3-point shot. I thought what was most impressive, they didn't have the breakdowns defensively in the half court that you typically see against Golden State. Even though on Steph's highlights, you saw he had to go create a lot of his offense. It wasn't off the catch that we typically see with this Golden State team. And that's one reason why there was so much success. Only I think 10 assists in that first half for a team that's accustomed to getting 30. So that tells you defensively that Miami was a little bit more in tune.
Interesting also to see Miami hit those boards and start out with an 18-3 advantage. That's even out as we got closer to the half. And certainly Golden State coming back, tying this thing up. And then the Heat able to pull out and have a 5-point lead at the break. Joel Embiid not playing games against the Lakers. That's up next. You're watching American Express Halftime Report. Time to take a look inside the box and those 3-point shots favoring the Miami Heat right now. We've seen this before with the Golden State Warriors. Get down early, have a huge third quarter. What are you looking for in the start of the second half? Fish, let's start with you.
Well, I think for the Heat, they have to continue to hit the glass. We talked those 13 second chance points. That's how you hold the Warriors in, not allowing them to get out and transition in the open floor where they get wide open threes that you can't defend. So that's what I would look for the Heat to continue to try and do.
And if you're the Warriors, do you make an adjustment with your starting lineup to that point? Because they got killed on the offensive backboard, and they really couldn't handle Miami in the paint. And then you couple that with how well they shot the three. Now, having said all of that, Golden State's right back in the game. And you would expect with their firepower, they're going to have an opportunity. But sometimes you let a team get some confidence and some rhythm. They knocked down 11 threes. That basket's looking real big right now for the Miami Heat.
For the Heat, Josh Richardson really got hot in that first half. Do you think the Warriors make a defensive adjustment to make sure they slow him down in the second half?
I think they want to try, but a part of what makes the Warriors good, Miami's trying to replicate. Like their spacing and ball movement, their drive attack game has been pretty good. especially when you have an anchor that you have to account for with Whiteside, who had a pretty effective start to the game, as did the entire Heat team in terms of attacking the glass. So it makes it harder to stay in rotation when you have a guy with his head at the rim.
DeMarcus Cousins, just 4 shots, 2 points in 13 minutes. Does that surprise you a bit?
Not overly surprising. The Warriors were not sharp to start this game. And when you're not the number 1 option, number 2 option, the way Cousins was in New Orleans and in Sacramento previously, and you don't get that volume, if the team's not playing well, sometimes you're not going to look as good. And the Warriors aren't playing good basketball in this first half as well as they started to late in the half. So I think Cousins will get better as the Warriors get better here in this third quarter.
Can't overlook Dion Waiters as well. 14 points. You see him on the leading scoreboard. 5 for 8 from the field, 4 for 5 from three-point range to go along with Josh Richardson, who's 5 for 7 from three-point range. We'll be here following this game. Enjoy the second half. Golden State Warriors down by 5. Philadelphia, Los Angeles Lakers, and did we get some incredible performances or what? Joel Embiid, LeBron James, and LeBron started off with the flames from outside. You going under on the screen, not a good idea.
Yeah, and both teams were just lights out in this first quarter. We thought was going to turn into a shootout.
Tobias Harris. I guess we got to go. He was caliente. The flavor. And if he was caliente, I guess Kyle Kuzma on the other end.
Ooh, muy caliente.
Yes, muy caliente, rojo caliente, something. Just some spice to his game. Woo! 23 points in the first quarter for Kyle Kuzma.
Even that play, when he threw a bad pass, it leads to an and-one opportunity.
The Lakers take a 5-point lead there. Second quarter, Joel Embiid, the skill set.
Barbecue chicken.
Man, his footwork and ability to play the game at all spots on the floor is just impressive.
A 7-footer with the show and go. Amazing. And then J.J. Redick, cash, and one.
That's just unfair. I mean, you're making shots like that, D. You ain't got a chance.
It's hard to describe how difficult that shot is and finish through the contact and one for JJ.
Enough to impress one Allen Iverson. He got a show in the second half as well. The Lake Show. LeBron. Good ball movement. JaVale McGee finishing inside. But it's Philadelphia maintaining that lead. You see the Lakers fighting back, but still down by 4.
Yeah, I mean, they made a few runs in that second half, but they just really, from a defensive standpoint, had no answer.
For Joel
no pun
Embiid.
intended for the big fella.
Not at all. And then when you see them, the defense starts to sink in and creates open shots for other people. Jimmy Butler taking advantage from outside, then rolling off of the screen. And then J.J. Redick, a second late, he'll make you pay.
And I tell you what, we talked about shot quality. Robert Kraft knows a little bit about quality of wins.
And a quality performance from one Joel Embiid, 37 points, 14 rebounds, missed just 4 shots. Here he is after the victory. Yeah, 10 points, 5 for 6 from the field. And how about Tobias Harris in the first quarter, 6 for 6, 14 points, finished with 22. These guys just fitting in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Bobby and Toby show is now on the East Coast. And we'll start with Toby. And Tobias Harris, man, really showing his ability to impact the game at every level, finishing around LeBron, showing the finesse to his game, and then following that up, attacking the Lakers. Interior of the defense with the power finish after showing the finesse with the right hand. And then again, just playing his screen role, taking his time, using the rim as a defender against a good shot blocker, finishing on the other side. And then the Sixers, good ball movement, good patience, passing up good shots to get a great one for Tobias Harris in the corner. And a guy that's showing the ability, even on a new team, because he can make plays for himself and others. You don't have to run a lot of offense for him. He can just fall into what the Sixers already do. Great performance by Tobias Harris. I thought it was going to take a little bit of time to fit in a new guy that's used to opportunity. He's off to a great start.
Certainly 23-point loss by the Lakers. They also had a 42-point loss earlier in the week. Look, Magic Johnson tried to motivate the young guys who were involved in trade rumors. Here he is before the game.
Quit making this about thinking these guys are babies, because that's what you're treating them like. They're professionals. All of them. And this is how this league works. They know it. I know it. That's how it goes.
GA, essentially Magic is like, look, we tried to trade you. You're still here. Get over it. Is he right?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the business of winning basketball games. And the moment that the Los Angeles Lakers signed LeBron James, that trajectory that they were on of rebuild changed to compete today. And, you know, a lot of things can happen in that Western Conference after this season. And so even though they didn't pull the trigger and make the deal, most teams would have made that deal if they got a chance to get Anthony Davis. So in some respects, as a young player, they should take it as a compliment that someone else would want them. But by the same token, they're also telling those young players, look, you've got to get better. And we saw it tonight from Kyle Kuzma. I mean, he was special tonight. I mean, he really gave him a chance in that first half and kept him in the game. But they're going to need Ingram. They're going to need, when Ball comes back, and all these young guys to continue to grow and get better if they want to have a chance to contend. Because hypothetically, if Kevin Durant leaves Golden State next year, the Western Conference becomes what we just saw happen in the East when LeBron James left. You know, it became it's all open now. Now a lot of teams are going to feel like they have a chance to get to the finals. So you got to think that way if you're the Lakers.
Absolutely. Be interesting to see what happens with Kevin Durant, his free agency, Kyrie Irving and his free agency. A lot of moving pieces to watch this offseason. Kyrie Irving, speaking of which, left Saturday's game against the Clippers with a knee sprain. Good news for Boston. The injury is not considered serious, and Kyrie is listed as day-to-day as the MRI came back negative. Celtics could have used his services last night. They were ahead by 28. They ended up losing that one by 11. You can catch both the Celtics and the 76ers on Tuesday night going head-to-head. It's players only on TNT. The doubleheader tips off at 8 with the nightcap at 10:30, featuring the two-time defending champion Warriors against the Utah Jazz. Stick around as we continue to get you ready for tonight's game. Warriors and Heat tipping off at 8:30.